So some of these contractors are kind of like going from check to check. They're kind of wheel and deal, and try to have some of these side jobs on the side while they're working on your job because they need some money, right?
Yeah, that's ultimately what it comes down to. Once you get into a project that's taking you 2 to 3 weeks and expected pay is not for another 2 or 3 weeks, you're going to run into problems regardless of who it is. Because what ends up happening is a lot of these guys, man, they're not good stewards of money. They're not bankers. The only thing they really understand is how to swing a hammer and how to get the job done. So most guys, they're real simplistic in their thought process. They want to be compensated for the work that they do. But as a business owner, you got to kind of take that with a grain of salt, because you risk investing in a person that possibly might not finish. So, finding that middle ground with them is helpful, or that's where the trusting relationship really comes into hand. Because if money stops for a construction crew, morale goes down, nobody wants to work. So at least when I take on a job, I like to get half up front, half when I'm done, or a quarter when we start, a quarter after demo, a quarter towards once we're halfway done with the project, and then I'll just divert that last quarter till the very end, which will usually be my profit. I just want to cover payroll and make sure my guys have enough money to buy cigarettes, or they're real simple creatures, man. They're not very complicated. They just want enough money into their pocket to make them feel like a man. That's what any man wants.
Right.
They want to feel like they went to work for a week and they came home with a check. And there's been times that and I'm blessed for this. When I first started, my guys, there were times, man, we went 2-3 weeks without making a paycheck, and it was kind of hard to come home and explain to your wife why you're not getting paid for 2 or 3 weeks. But then on the flip side of that, once you did get paid, what ends up happening is you're so far in debt, or you're so far behind, that now you're getting this big paycheck and everything's backed up, so all your money goes towards that. So you don't really see any of your money. It's just you're kind of paying off what you've already accumulated for those 3 weeks. So it can get difficult for some guys, because a lot of these guys they're not bankers. They're not no JP Morgan Chase or anything like that. They don't understand the thought process of saving for a rainy day, or making sure you have money put away for gas for the week. And I don't know how many times I've had to give guys 50-60 bucks here and there just to put gas in their car, because you call them in the morning and be like, all right, hey, you got to be at this job site. Oh, well, I don't have any gas, and you just gave him $600. But at the end of the day, he's got rent, he's got water, electricity, he's got food. Some of these guys don't get food stamps or something, so food costs money to you got to eat. So I think when you operate from that understanding, it makes things easier, but you have to have the right type of people in place, because there has to be that give and take relationship. There has to be that reciprocity between both parties. It just can't be one party giving, the other one taking, and then just obviously taking advantage of the situation. So it has its highs and lows, but that's ultimately, you have to keep the money flowing, make sure guys get payroll weekly. That's the best way to get around it.
Yes, having a good relationship with whoever the client is that you're working with.
Yeah,
because if you don't have clear guidance from above, it's kind of scatterbrained, right?
Yeah.
It's like, what do you want me to do here?
A job will get away from you real quick when you don't, especially like, let's say if we get a $600,000 job, we're not going to do the whole job ourselves, but we're going to sub a lot of the work out. We're going to piece it out. We'll piece out the drywall, and we'll piece out the stud work. We'll piece out the concrete work. We'll piece out the brick work, or whatever the case may be. When you got something going on like that, it's almost imperative to keep the money flowing. You have to keep the money flowing, because you get into a job like that, no man is going to come out and work for free for 3 months.
Right. It's just too long of time.
It's too much of an investment on their part, and then they run the risk of not getting paid if somebody gets upset with them. So it's give or take, man. But it's real important that when you establish that relationship with a contractor, or you establish a relationship with a client, that client's got to come first. The contractor's got to understand that, and there has to be clear communication between both parties, and a clear understanding of payment schedule, and a strict adherence to the payment schedule, because lives depend on it.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. You know, good guidance for me too.
Yeah, you know, seriously, yeah,
I
man.
appreciate it.
But you as a business owner, there's some crapshoots out there, so you got to take a hard stance with those with those types of guys. You know, you got to draw the line in the sand and say, no, you're gonna do it this way, or you're not getting paid. So.
Yeah, and like you said, you know, it's a relationship. You want to have fun and work with people you like too,
right?
As well,
right?
You know, obviously everything's not going to go exactly as planned.
Oh, no, you'll run into problems. You'll run into problems on almost every job.
You need to have understanding people too.
Right. You have to have understanding people, like-minded people who have the same, I guess, motivation and goals you do. And, you know, part of that is just, it's part of the weeding out process. And you're going to take some lumps, man. It's part of the business, man.
Yeah.
No guts, no glory, man, you know.